Hey, we're back working on the 1959 GMC pickup truck today, and we have the control arms all blasted and painted and ready to go back on. They're aluminum, but when I blasted them, I just gave them a little dusting of aluminum colored paint on there. We've got some parts that we had powder coated. These were originally anodized aluminum and powder coated in black. These are the lower QA1 coilover mounts. If you're not familiar with what we got going on here, this is a C4 Corvette front suspension and steering. So the steering rack is from a 88, 89. I think the rest of it's from a 95 and up, or a 95. These brake calipers are part of a conversion. That's what these caliper brackets are for. These brake calipers are a C5 Corvette, so 97 to 04 Corvette. We've got the energy suspension bushings to rebuild the control arms. We've got the new ball joints. We've got the new tie rod ends for the steering rack. Obviously new calipers. We've got new wheel bearings. We've got the QA1 coilovers that came with the suspension when the truck was bought, and the rotors that were new that were on the truck when it was purchased. So Tom Keene at Keene Corvette Parts hooked us up with this stuff. He's not a sponsor, but he does give me a discount, which I appreciate. And yeah, so it's a little strange. We're working on a 59 GMC, but using Corvette pieces. So if you have any need for Corvette parts, Keene Parts is a good place to do that. So information is right there. Call and talk to them, or just go online and place an order. They're good people. So couldn't get the ball joint press to line up quite right. You definitely don't want to mess up these aluminum control arms. So these have a pretty tight fit on them though. So we're kind of sneaking up on it. It's a little off. I'm gonna push on the inside a little bit more than the outside. But once you kind of get her squared up in there, she goes pretty good. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna go till it's all the way seated. You'll feel that in the pump more than you can see it. Once she stops moving, that's where you want to be. All right, so got it back in there. I used this one of the cups to press the rubber bushing or the rubber boot back on there. I just kind of knocked it down with a hammer. It went on pretty good. So yeah, that's all looking really good. So lower control arms are complete. The bushings in there, we got them all lubed up. We're gonna lubricate anything that touches metal. So we'll lubricate this inside and that inside and probably the underneath the washer head. That is per the instructions from Energy Suspension. We use this little grease that's included. So that's all looking good, and we can get these mounted to the check. So, putting together these control arm bushings for the upper control arms on this truck. And so the bushings that are down here on the the smaller end, I guess it would be called, they just push in by hand, right? So you just lube them up with the Energy Suspension lube and then put them in. And then you have to slide the shaft down into that bushing. And I went ahead and put the other washer and nut on down here too. That'll just kind of hold everything kind of in line for you. I didn't tighten the nut at all. So then you got this bushing up here, and the problem is that the lip on this bushing is bigger than the big eyelet. And there's a washer that's got to go on here, and believe it or not, that is the way that washer goes. It looks like it would go the other way, but for whatever reason, it's cupped in that direction. I think to allow this lip to pop through when it does. These are aluminum control arms, obviously, so you have to put something in between here to like keep it from crushing when you're doing this. But so what I did is I lined it up. I just found this, it's a spacer with a hole in it. It's like a solid spacer. It's got the right size hole for this shaft in it. And you can see I've got the whole thing just sitting in there. And I'll put this bar in here like this to support so it doesn't crush it, you know. It can't get too far, you know, with all this going on, but you just don't want to start bending on those aluminum control arms too much, and they will bend immediately. So you're gonna have to put a little pressure on that. That'll pop through. I've already got lube inside the barrel there. And then once it sticks out the other side, then you're good. So I'll show you that here. So you can see it's starting to pop through there. It won't look like much, but then when you take the pressure off it a little bit, See how that fell off? So then once the pressure's off, that's all the way through. That's all it is. So yeah, that bushing's in there. If it's not in there 100%, when you tighten up the nut, it'll pull it down. You can see it's got a little bit further to go there. But I'm not worried about that whatsoever. So yeah, let's get the ball joints in these and put them on the truck. I did forget to mention that we need to put this sleeve in here. And to do that, I'm gonna lube up the outside of this, but then we just push it in. You know, you'll have to get it in lined up. And then what I did is I took one of the washers. You can get it in far enough to get the shaft to stick out, then you can put this over it. And then I took that same bushing, kind of, because we know that's the right size for the shaft on the washer, and then I use the washer to push it in. So it's kind of a hard thing to hold on to and film at the same time, but it ends up pushing that in there. You just, give it a few taps with the old rubber mallet and she goes right in. Shoot, buddy. Look at that. Got the front suspension and steering rack, tie rod ends, QA1 coilovers, all installed on this bad boy. It's looking really good. Everything went together just fine. I managed not to mix up the left and right sides on anything, even though right before I put this tie rod end in, I thought, I think that's supposed to go in from the top, but it's not. So you can see the angle of the tie rod is the same as the angle of the lower control arm, which means I did not get the spindles upside down and backwards or whatever. If this was coming through from the top, this angle wouldn't be right at all. One little thing, you probably didn't see me grease the caliper slides on the other side. I need to do that, but I'm missing these little boots right here for the driver's side. So I got to take that back apart anyways and put the boots on, and there's no point in greasing it up. There is actually grease inside of these caliper brackets here. You can see I'm missing the boots here, but there's grease inside there. But if we want it to stay inside there, we got to put those little boots on. I'm not sure where they went because they weren't with the truck when I took it all apart. So yeah, looks really good. The Corvette calipers bolted right on. They look nice. And you know, I'll be honest with you, like I was gonna take apart, paint the calipers, you know, do all the stuff, and then I would have still had just a used set of calipers that had been just painted. But you know, if I could have gone through and rebuilt them and stuff like that. But honestly, for the price of these C5 calipers, it's not worth doing. You get a nice piece from Lone Star Caliper, care of Keen Corvette parts, and yeah, real nice. So that's it for the front end. Now it's time to do the back.